right, perfect. Thanks so much, guys. I'm Caleb, founder of Craftom, and Rob and Chris, feel free to interject as I go through this. Conversational flow, I think, would actually kind of help me go through this. So if you have any questions, feel free to stop me and I'll address them. So the problem that we're solving is one that maybe you haven't thought of before, but it's basically how are companies shipping this just corporate products to their remote workforces now. So this is how you can see here in my slide. This is how people used to ship corporate products, equipment, gifts, swag, all kinds of supplies before the pandemic. So a supplier would ship it to the company's office, and then it would get distributed to employees or drop shipped out from there to prospects, customers, and employees. What happens though when no one's at those offices anymore? So for example, let's take a idea fund portfolio company like Pendo, right? So Pendo's based in Raleigh. They've got 400, 500 employees there. Now those people are no longer in the office. How do they distribute prospecting gifts, employee welcome packages, all the computers, all those things that they need to get to their folks. So what we found is this is actually how it works. And this may seem crazy, but we've heard stories of, people sending 500 t-shirts and enlisting their kids to, package t-shirts and then driving to FedEx 5 to 10 times on the weekend to ship, the welcome kits to new employees. Sounds like a crazy problem. But this is actually happening, and it's happening across the entire organization. So marketing departments, HR departments, IT departments, they're all struggling with how do we get these products to, again, our prospects, customers, and employees. Just out of curiosity, have any of your portfolio companies run across this challenge? Or have you at Idea Fund or at Fall Furious?
Be honest, I have no idea. I mean, we have a 4-person team, so we don't really have any problem with that. But I haven't heard of any corporates or portfolio companies, but that doesn't mean it's not happening. I just don't know if they're discussing it with us.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. All right, that's fair. So let me go on to the next one. All right, so the platform that we've built provides our customers with a single internal platform for all the departments to basically ship anything with a branded, awesome unboxing experience, whether they're working remotely or in the office. So this is extremely important. A lot of companies were not set up to make drop shipping easy to many different remote addresses. So imagine a company like Avid Exchange that has a couple thousand employees. How do you drop ship all of that stuff to that many different residential addresses at an easy click of the button? So this is the platform we built. It's a web-based product, and let's get to what you guys probably want to see, which is traction and revenue. So from 2014 to 2019, I ran a corporate gifting and marketing B2B firm. We had a lot of professional sports teams and big corporate brands as clients. At the end of 2019, we kind of saw the writing on the wall where the industry is going, which is, people don't want to pick up the phone and call you to order widgets. We live in the age of Amazon. People want to point, click, and things just show up magically. So we launched our own platform really as a beta and a test with Craftom in January, built some pretty decent pipeline from January till March, had about 300K in pipeline. And then the entire country went remote, and most of that pipeline evaporated when people realized, how are we going to ship this stuff to people? We don't know where they're sitting anymore. So pretty much over a weekend, we built this product called Pick, which allows companies to very easily send really any type of widget to someone, no matter where they're working, whether in the office, working from home, or working from a cabana somewhere. So from basically the onset of the pandemic through summer, we really started taking off. So our first enterprise account we landed was Hitachi Vantara. It's a huge B2B software company. You can see by June, these were some of the customers that we landed, a lot of San Francisco B2B tech companies. And from June through December 31st, we really, just generated a lot of revenue. So close to $1 million in sales. Our profit on Products sold 70%. Our overall net profitability is about 30 right now. Any questions on that so far?
I'm going to say they're going to go ahead and let you go. Yeah, because you got 45 seconds.
Okay. All right. All right. So this is some of our, these are some of the logos that we've landed. Our strongest traction has been in the mid market. So the 1,000 to 2,000 size, 1,000 to 2,000 employee size companies. Our enterprise accounts is definitely our fastest growing. So you'll see some of these logos: Hitachi, NetApp, Business Insider. These deals just take longer. And up until January 1st, I was the only one doing sales to these accounts. Like I mentioned before, our goal is to capture the entire company's widget spend. So revenue team, sales, marketing, customer success, HR, IT, and ops teams, which we just launched in December. The platform, sorry.
All right, and that's time. Sorry, Caleb, we've got that 6-minute format. And now we're gonna have some time for some Q&A and feedback questions. So Chris, Rob?
Sure, I'm happy to kick it off. I mean, I guess I'd start by saying, like, there's obviously something here because you have a relatively impressive customer list. And, you know, let's just take the June to December. You've got a $1.7 million annualized run rate. And you're able to, I guess, per this, generate 30% net profit off of that. So the combination of those three things that's like the smoke, I guess, if you will. I'm like, well, there's obviously something of value here.
Right.
I got to be honest, I don't know what it is right now, right? I think that it took me a while to understand exactly what the problem you were solving is. I think there's a very succinct way to do so. I really don't know. I guess the other thing is it's hard for me to really get a sense of this market. So I found myself curious, like, how many of these companies exist? How many times per day I would be curious, like, even if you just took someone like Hitachi or Passport, how many times a day or a week or whatever it is, what's the cadence? Like, how often does something like this happen, right? Like, I could imagine, like, I mean, I worked at Lowe's and I'm sure we sent computers and onboarding and all kinds of stuff. I have no earthly idea how often that occurs, but taking a step back right now, understanding that people are working from a distributed workforce, I could totally get that problem. I do think that I would be curious, like, I don't know who's doing, like, how that's getting accomplished today. Is that through traditional 3PL? Is there an internal team for these companies that are just like working that together? And what's the pain point of that solution? What's so hard for them? Is it keeping up with where people are working from? Is it just the manual nature because their systems are not set up to distribute to all these and treat them like vendors? Like, is it the warehousing? Like, I guess I'm still a little bit confused by where the, like, real pain is. But in the end, like, it's obvious that it exists because in a real short period of time, you're generating a decent amount of profitable revenue from some teams. So I think that's probably just a real big encapsulation of probably where I'm sitting right now. Rob, I'll let you kind of jump in.
Sure. Yeah, thanks, Cal. So one thing, I know you wanted to make the pitch conversational. You know, I purposely didn't respond to either of your questions because there were so many things that I wanted to hear, and I knew you only had 6 minutes. So just keep that in mind. If we had a 15-minute pitch, or if we were sitting around a table, I think it would be more conducive to the conversational pitch. I have a feeling that that's probably your style, Kelvin, and I get it, because look, it's a lot easier to pitch when you can interact with who you're pitching to, but I just think this format makes that difficult. And so, you know, you honed in on the problem and traction. I get that. Again, I cheated last night and went out to your website. So I have a little bit understanding as to how you make money, what your revenue model is, but you really didn't touch on it much in the pitch itself. So some areas that I think you missed. Number one is your overall team. Now, look, your name is, I know your name in the entrepreneurial circles in Charlotte over several years. I think I even saw one of your previous products with it might have even been with the Bobcats before they were the Hornets, but doing the custom boxes. But I think you need to talk about that. You've been a successful entrepreneur in Charlotte. Let's hear a little bit more about that and the team around you. Like Chris, I know there's a problem here. The area that I think would be interesting with this remote workforce, if you could, get a Google. If you are, shipping out not only welcome kits, but the computers and the whole home office setup, that could be really interesting in a really big market. And I think that's maybe where you're going. And of course, then the first thing I'm saying is, well, how is the sausage made? If you're having to ship computers out and all that kind of stuff, how does it work in the back office where you're aggregating, or, are you keeping an inventory of laptops that you're having to send out? And so again, probably not enough time in a 6-minute pitch, but I think there's something there, and that these big companies could pay a monthly subscription for you to be the fulfillment arm to set up their home offices, their employee home offices. And I think that's part of your revenue model here. A couple other things, just, how big is the market? What is your ask? So those are some of the other things that I would touch on in this 6 minutes. But yeah, I'm kind of like Chris. I'm left here going, there is something here. You have some really good traction in 6-month period of time. But I don't know if it's a gift. I don't know if it's the corporate model that we just talked about. Maybe it's all of the above, and your platform facilitates that. So those are my thoughts.
And given that traction, I am curious, what is the ask? Since I am an investor and you are in my sweet spot with traction.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I just didn't get to everything in here. I probably should have condensed the first part. So we've got, information here about the marketplace, the team, and then our ask. Sorry, I'm having a hard time here with my, so the ask is basically 10% for 1.2. The way we got to that figure was one of our competitors that focus solely on the revenue side. So all they're doing is selling to marketing, sales, customer success teams. They raised 10.7 with their first round, and then another 40 million on just a traditional direct mailing model. So no remote model at all. I think they've since introduced that, but we've been able to snag some of their accounts because they did not have that when the pandemic first started. So we would use the capital to hire sales, build out our customer success and marketing teams, customer acquisition, and then developing our platform beyond the MVP and just-in-time warehousing.
Okay. Can you go through that team really quick? I'm just curious who's on that.
Yeah, Caleb, it looks like all the stuff that I said was potentially missing is there. So I think in that 6 minutes, man, just get through all these slides.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'll try to condense that. It's a little bit too long up front. So yeah, Chris, to answer the question on the team. So Glenn is our COO. I was really lucky to hire him. He's run some pretty large companies. He ran a large steel company. Last business, some people might be familiar with, is Buffalo Jackson. He was the CEO there. He really believed in what we're doing, and decided to come on to kind of, we subscribe to the EOS model, a visionary and integrator. Glenn's an awesome integrator, and it frees me up to do kind of what I'm good at, which is the selling, the marketing, and building the platform. Liz is our marketing manager, has about 5 years in B2B marketing, previously with Inventus Partners. Caleb Sherman is our designer and print production. Has been with me 2 years through Musser, started with the professional sports business and is now transferred over to Craftom. We just hired our first account executive, Wesley, which is super exciting. He's got 4 years of B2B SaaS sales experience, and actually closed one of our competitors as account and used their platform to sell more with his company. Lindsay's our procurement and sourcing specialist. We just hired Candace is our customer success specialist, and then Chris is our SDR, who basically was funneling me leads, now funneling Wesley and I leads to close.
Awesome.
We still have a few minutes, Chris and Rob, if you had any other final questions, or if you wanted to have Caleb go over anything else.
Or allow questions from the audience.
Okay, perfect. We can go to that.
I don't know if there's any specifics for Caleb, but.
I know a lot of people liked your background, Caleb. That was a conversation earlier. Your background of your presentation, but let's see here.
All right, so anybody who has any questions for Caleb, you can go ahead and drop those in the chat. We've got one here from Samir. Can you repeat your traction? What is your traction on this?
Yeah, absolutely. So we did close to $1 million in sales in 2020, with the bulk of that revenue coming from June through December. We're primarily helping. This is a kind of an important point. To date, we've primarily have been helping revenue teams, helping them send all kinds of things to their prospects and customers. Where our fastest growing market, though, is HR, and I think it was Rob that mentioned it. The IT side is really where you look at a competitor like CDW, it's $18 billion company, and they're, supplying, computers, office printers, that kind of thing. So this kind of device management side of things we think that these two channels within an account are actually going to eventually dwarf the revenue side of the house.
Great. Well, I see Rob is adding his 8 points that he looks for here to the chat. If anybody has any other questions here for Caleb while we wrap this up.
And I will be copying these, and we will have those tweeted out as well for his 8 points that he looks for.
Can I ask Rob and Chris a quick question about just our ask?
Yeah, of course.
What do you got? What is just kind of your first thought about the valuation and the ask? I mean, does it seem reasonable?
Standing at a point of ignorance on what these kind of businesses trade at, it's not offensive. So 12, you're asking for 1.2 at 12 posts, that's 10.8 pre. If I were to, again, annualize your last half revenue, and let's say we called it that, then you're tracking. So it's like, that's what, 1.8. So that doesn't strike me as a crazy multiple, but that's, again, coming from a point of complete ignorance where I have no idea what similar companies trade for, but it's not bonkers. I've certainly seen a lot crazier.
Yeah, I'd just be interested in Sendeso. What were their metrics in order to raise 10.7? So sometimes I think people get caught up on the valuation by comparing their small company with, a much larger company, and you got to take scale into consideration.
Yeah, absolutely. So last we checked, they're doing about 45 ARR. So yeah, and the fact that we were able to steal some of their accounts when it was pretty much like me and just a couple people. I think, that's pretty telling. We're offering something that they're not to the market, was our thought.
Awesome. And I think with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. If you've got any questions, feel free to hop into the breakout rooms afterwards, where you get a chance to meet with a lot of the presenters, the pitchers today, and ask them questions. But that wraps up the pitch portion. So Rob, Chris, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate your insights, your questions, and for being on here. So thank you so much.